Now to the former UFC fighter arrested in Gretna this week, facing a judge for the first time. The judge set Anthony Smith's bond at $500,000. He's facing domestic violence charges. Prosecutors say Smith was involved in a fight with the alleged victim at a bar during which he reportedly threatened to kill the victim after arriving home. The alleged victim tried to get out of the car, and Smith reportedly tried to hit the victim multiple times with that car. Smith turned himself in after authorities put out an arrest warrant. He has a 17-year career in mixed martial arts.